started to tighten against some high-profile public officials as the Parliament's Public Accounts Committee yesterday recommended actions against officials involved in the health equipment procurement debacle. The parliamentary body has concluded massive foul play and has urged the anti-graft body to initiate further investigations and actions against the guilty party. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. The disgruntled faction in the ruling party suspect foul play as the Prime Minister dilly-dallies revoking the controversial Ordinance on Constitutional Council Act. Public Accounts Committee recommends actions against office bearers involved in the Omni Group health procurement fiasco, rejects Health Minister Dhakal's clarification. At least 15 children killed and 20 injured in an explosion in Afghanistan. Taliban militants say the blast was accidental. And sports associations of similar nature required to merge as per new sports guidelines. Sports Council takes initiative in settling disputes. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli on Wednesday had agreed to revoke the Ordinance on Constitutional Council Act following massive backlashing from all quarters. However, the controversial ordinance is yet to be revoked, while the proposal to withdraw the ordinance was not even tabled at Thursday's cabinet meeting, giving way to more skepticism on part of the disgruntled faction.
The Prime Minister had stepped back as the Dahal Nepal faction moved ahead with the strategy to oust Premier Oli through a special session of the Parliament. However, despite the agreement, the Premier did not show any inclination at revoking the ordinance in the Cabinet meeting on Thursday. The dissident faction has therefore speculated more foul play from the executive head to cling on to the power. The leaders in the opposition faction have warned that if the Prime Minister continues with his political gambits, it would seriously backfire on him.
जिम्मेवारीपूर्ण ढंगले पार्टीको अध्यक्ष नै बसिराख्नु भएको छ। त्यसो भएको हुनाले चाहिँ यसलाई उहाँले अलि सकारात्मक ढंगले सोच्नुपर्छ। विगतमा जे भयो अब नयाँ ढंगले नयाँ उचाइमा सकारात्मक ढंगले सोचेर अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ। यदि त्यस्तो भएन र उहाँले यही किसिमका क्रियाकलापहरू अगाडि बढाउनु भयो भने अब चुप लाएर त कोही पनि बस्दैन, जनता पनि बस्दैन, हामी पनि कोही बस्दैनौँ। पार्टीका कार्यकर्ता नेताहरू चुप लाएर बस्दैनन्, बेठिक कुराको आलोचना गर्छन्, विरोध गर्छन् र कुन हदसम्म जानुपर्ने हो आवश्यकता अनुसार स्थिति अनुसार जान सक्छ।
The Oli faction has meanwhile claimed that the Prime Minister is committed to the Wednesday agreement and that the delay has been due to procedural hassles. The disgruntled faction, however, doesn't seem ready to buy the logic as the cabinet ministers were not informed while the ordinance was introduced, but there is considerable dilly-dallying at the time of revoking the ordinance. It may be recalled that in April this year, the same ordinance was first introduced and swiftly withdrawn following widespread protest. Given this scenario, the citing of procedural hassles in revoking the ordinance this time around has given enough room to the disgruntled faction of the ruling party to feel wary of Prime Minister Oli's modus operandi.
The Public Accounts Committee under the Parliament has recommended actions against officials in the infamous procurement of health equipment from Omni Group, citing that the procurement procedures had breached regulations. The Parliamentary Committee recommended the anti-graft body to initiate action against the guilty party. The committee summoned Health Minister Bhanu Bhakta Dhakal in connection with the health equipment procurement fiasco and recommended corruption watchdog CIAA to initiate investigations and take actions, saying that the minister's clarification was not convincing. The committee has said that the deal to buy the health equipment from private company Omni Group was against the public procurement regulations and it was signed without calling tenders. Meanwhile, at the meeting of the Public Accounts Committee, Health Minister Dhakal defended himself, saying that the procurement process did not breach the existing regulations. The Health Ministry had procured the health equipment to test coronavirus in early March this year. The deal was later scrapped after the procured health equipment were found to be of substandard. The main opposition, Nepali Congress, has intensified legworks to pile pressure on the government for the election of the Deputy Speaker as soon as the winter session of the Parliament convenes. The Executive Committee meeting of the Nepali Congress Parliamentary Party has said that the vacant position of the Deputy Speaker has affected the parliamentary procedures and activities. The main opposition has also called on the government to convene the regular session of the Parliament at the earliest. The party has also demanded immediate revoking of the Ordinance on Constitutional Council Act. Nepali Congress Chief Whip Balkrishna Khand said that the controversial ordinance should be withdrawn immediately as it stood against the spirit of the Constitution. The main opposition also discussed strategies against the government once the winter session of the Parliament convened. The steady rise in coronavirus cases continues in the country as 782 COVID-19 cases were reported yesterday, taking the total number of coronavirus cases to 252,474. COVID-19 death toll in the country has now reached 1,765, with 16 more deaths reported. The Health Ministry has informed that 1.86 million sample tests have been done through the PCR method in the country so far. Out of the 5,706 samples tested yesterday, more than 13% came positive. Meanwhile, 1,029 individuals recovered from the virus, taking the recovery tally to 241,392. According to the Health Ministry, there are 9,317 active cases in the country at the moment. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in Morang why are farmers compelled to protest to receive payment for their own produce. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
किसानहरुले गरेन भने त हामी कसैले पनि केही पनि उपभोग गर्न पाउँदैनौं त्यो कुराको महत्त्व नबुझेको सरकारले
चाहिँ के भन्छ भन्न चाहिँ किसान भन्छ तर अलिकति उद्योगपतिहरुकै पक्षमा छ
राज्य व्यवस्थाले त्यसलाई कृषि प्रधानको नारा दिएर बाहिरबाट डोनर ल्याएर खाने मात्रै काम गर्छ
बिजुलीले फाइदा लिएको छ सब्जीमा पनि त्यही छ धानमा पनि त्यही छ
उब्जाको 2 गुणा हाम्रो त्यो ब्याजमै गएर पैसा खतम हुने हुन्छ अनि त्यो हामी कसरी बाँच्छौं भन्ने उद्देश्यले नै हामी अब बारम्बार सबलाई पहल गरे पनि अब हाम्रो पहल कसैले सुन्दिदैन
दुःख गरेर बाली नाली लाउँछन् ऋण खोजेर लाउँछन् हैन अनि भरे बेच्ने बेलामा उनीहरुले मूल्य पाउँदैन यो सरकारको कमजोरी हो
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what's your take on the ongoing trend of defying restrictions implied to control the pandemic? Your options are A, toying with pandemic, B, weak monitoring, and C, compulsion. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the sports update. The disagreement among various sports associations is one of the leading causes of obstacles seen in Nepalese sports, hindering its desired progress. The conflicts among sports bodies have emerged since sports sector has started being used for personal gain through political reach. According to the new regulations, similar sports bodies are required to merge, otherwise they could be scrapped altogether. The good news is that the National Sports Council has taken the initiatives to settle the dispute among the sports bodies. The Sports Council has issued a notice to 16 associations, including wrestling, taekwondo and bodybuilding, among 2 other similar bodies. Lust for power and political influence are attributed as the primary causes for the rift in these sports bodies. The Sports Council is the governing body of all these associations and could have resolved the dispute with some initiative. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has formed a dispute-solving committee to address the issue. The coordinator of the committee is Shiva Koirala, who heads one of 2 taekwondo associations in Nepal. The dispute in the 54 karate associations has been resolved, as the Sports Council is poised to merge all the karate associations as well. Similar initiative from the sports governing body in the country is sought to resolve disputes seen in other sports associations as well. Now, former captain of Nepalese national cricket team Paras Khadka has extended his stay at the T10 League team Abu Dhabi. Khadka has signed a contract as the team's mentor rather than player. Abu Dhabi had declared Khadka its emerging talent mentor last night. Khadka had played for Abu Dhabi last season and has said the two sides had agreed for his stay a few months back. Khadka said he has taken up the role of a mentor for a different perspective on the league and that he intends to open similar doors for other Nepali players. The league auctions are to take place on 23rd of December. Khadka is positive Nepali players will be selected to play in the league as well. Khadka is currently in home isolation due to coronavirus. Now, the nomination for the annual People's Choice Award under NSJF Awards has been made public. Women players have dominated the People's Choice Award category this time around, as 4 out of the top 5 nominated players are women. Gaurika Singh for swimming, footballer Sabitra Bhandari, Sudhina Shrestha from basketball, volleyball player Aruna Shahi and Mande Kaji representing karate have been nominated for the prestigious award given by NSJF, an association of sports journalists in Nepal. Gaurika last year had set the record of 4 swimming gold in the 13th South Asian Games last year. Karateka Mande Kaji is a winner of double gold medals at the SAG event. Likewise, Aruna Shahi had given first international volleyball medal to Nepal. Sudhina Shrestha has also bagged team basketball silver medal during the SAG. Meanwhile, Sabitra is almost a household name in women football in the country, while she has also featured in the Indian Football League. Sabitra is a 2-time Indian League champion and winner of SAG silver medal. The nominations have been made on the basis of the player's performance last year. And with that, we move on to our Friday special segment, Media Watch.
The special court on Sunday remanded former Chief Commissioner of the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, Deep Basniat, in custody for trial. The special court directed to remand former Chief Commissioner Basniat to judicial custody in connection with the infamous Lalita Niwas land scam. The anti-corruption body had filed a case at the special court alleging Basniat for tabling a proposal at the cabinet to transfer the government land in the name of individuals during his tenure as secretary at the Ministry of Physical Planning. Following the special court's verdict, former Chief Commissioner Basniat was remanded in custody at the capital's Dilli Bazar prison. The joint bench of special court chairman Prem Raj Karki and judge duo Abdul Aziz Musalman and Nityananda Pandey issued the verdict on Sunday. The corruption watchdog CIAA has charged former Chief Commissioner Basniat for causing loss of more than 90 million rupees to the government and has demanded the same amount of fine and imprisonment of 8 to 10 years. This is the first time that an official who had served as the chief of an anti-graft body has been remanded on corruption charges. Around 175 individuals have been charged in the Lalita Niwas land scam. The main opposition Nepali Congress staged nationwide protests against the government on Monday. The party staged protests in all the 77 districts, criticizing the government for being anti-democratic, failing to control the COVID-19 pandemic, and harboring corruption. Addressing a protest rally in Hetona on Monday, party president Sherbahadur Deuba accused the government of patronizing corruption and irregularities in the country. Leader Deuba also claimed that pro-monarchists were active because of the incumbent government. Leader Gagan Thapa, while addressing the rally in Dhangari Kailali, criticized the ruling Nepal Communist Party for being a platform for opportunists. Likewise, senior leader Ramchandra Paudel addressed the rally in Kathmandu, while Vice President Bimalendra Nidhi led the rally in Bhaktapur, General Secretary Shashank Koirala led the protests in Biratnagar, and leader Prakash Man Singh led the protest rally in Janakpur. This is Abhyuday Shrestha for Media Watch and Kantipur News Desk.
That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.